happy that everybody has given up a little bit of their evening to hear about the chapel program, and I'm really excited to share some of the things that have happened since I came on board. I'm the Reverend Mike Giansiracusa. I This is my second year at St. Andrews, and so part of last year was getting some traction under my feet, and also just kind of learning the different rhythms of the school, and then also trying to pick different spots to um, not take anything away, but to add to what was already done at the school, and also to see what the students wanted. I think some of the students last year had three different chaplains in 3 years. So me coming in was, another change. So I wanted to um, see what they thought about the program and ways to improve. But I don't want to do all the talking. So like I'm definitely going to open this up and want to dialogue with you. The chapel program does touch a lot of different parts of the students' lives. And so and that's a good thing. But it also I just want to leave space for questions. But I'll say a few words about the program. One of the things that um, when I came in was the St. Andrews, and you may know this, had a history of having priests who were once teachers then get ordained while they were at St. Andrews and then become the chaplain. And this had happened two times in a row. So for over 20 some years, that was the model. And so basically it was like, oh, teacher, coach, residential person. Oh, now you're teacher, coach, priest, residential person, and we'll take away a class or two, and so like that's how it'll work. And when I came in, and the other and Thomas Becker came in, when we both came in, we wanted to kind of change that model to not teachers who were priests at a boarding school, but priests who happened to be teachers at a boarding school. And that kind of reoriented a lot of different things. We didn't do as much residential on dorm things because it would be kind of weird to have your pastor be in your dorm room. Um, if you look at it in the church world, right? Like you would not want to see me when you were like in your living space. It would be kind of weird. So we were kind of like trying to talk through that kind of different change in model. So Thomas and I really wanted to do more pastoral care with the students and with the faculty, be more available for students who are not necessarily looking for a counselor and needing that kind of help, but needing to talk about important things in their life. And so we kind of have been working on this model of being priests first and then teachers, but being able to do the things that priests do in any context, but certainly at a school. So that was kind of one big difference. But the model here at St. Andrews is very much about who the Episcopal Church believes Jesus is, and what that might mean for a community that's not all Christian. And so there's a lot there, right? Because um, while um, we are definitely an Episcopal school, and I'll go through like what we do for worship and things like that. We are also the chaplains for everybody, faith or no faith, and that also enriches who we are. And the Episcopal Church wants to and believes in celebrating the gifts and talents of all people and all faiths, having a home in our school, and yet we want to be decidedly Episcopalian in our identity. So there's good tensions there. It doesn't always work smoothly, but I know I grew up Roman Catholic, and coming from a Roman Catholic background, and then being Episcopalian And being in an Episcopal school versus a Catholic school, I think we do a really good job at building a big tent and allowing the other faiths to celebrate themselves. And so we celebrate with them. So one of my biggest taglines is that we are not here to convert souls. We are here to care for them. And that is what I think our primary function is, to care for souls. Sometimes they're breaking up with their boyfriend or girlfriends. Sometimes they're overwhelmed with homework. Sometimes something happened at home and they're thinking about home and they're not able to concentrate, but they are, needing a sounding board and needing advice. And I think that's one of the things that we've been able to do and do well. We also do that for the adults in the community. We are also their chaplain too. So sometimes adults have nowhere to go on campus. And our office is conveniently located in the basement next to the chapel. So if you know where the chapel is, you kind of know where our office is. And in one sense, some people ask, like, well, if you're so important, why are you in the basement? Same with the chapel, right? But it's a good question. But you know, we also know that, like, not everybody knows, like, that you're going down to see the chaplain. Like, you don't have to make, like, everybody, oh, look, they're going into the, you can do it in a way that, like, nobody needs to know. And sometimes that works to our advantage, being down there and just being able to, like, you can just come in and blow off steam. So caring for souls is really kind of like our main motto. And again, I don't want to do all the speaking. I'm just kind of going through a little bit about our program, and then I'd love to open it up to dialogue and questions. So we really operate on four different pillars in terms of our school life: school worship, religious formation and study, community life, and social justice. So the school worship is that we do have two set times that the students worship in community together. One is a traditional Sunday Episcopal service, and the second is a Wednesday night evening prayer that can be a chapel talk by a faculty member, or more frequently, it is a chapel service run by an affinity group. So we have different affinity groups on campus: the Jewish affinity group, Muslim affinity group, East Asian affinity group. Um, we have lots of them. And we provide an opportunity for them to do a chapel service to talk about their faith, their cultures, and their faith within their cultures. So that becomes not only a prayer service, but it also becomes just a way of learning about other spirituality and their experiences. So, for example, International House is doing this Wednesday, and that is all of our international students, which, as you can imagine, is it's a very different experience. And they're able to kind of give us insights in what's it like to be coming from a 16-hour plane ride. When they go home, it's a long way home and a long way back. And many of them don't go home on all the breaks, right? So what's that like for them, and how do they feel about that? And so that's for this Wednesday. So they run it. They tell us what they want, if they need music or if they need help, but they write the prayers. We look at all this stuff, just to kind of make sure it flows, but it's their voice and their format. So it's kind of exciting to kind of let go and let the students take ownership of that. Um, Community life, we do several things in the community. Pastoral care is one. We have a Friday morning spark block, and it's saints performing acts of real kindness. Spark. And that is more action oriented things like letter writing to people, letter writing to the community. It might be a little talk. It's only a half hour, a little talk about like something that's going on that students might want to get involved in service. So it could be collecting things. The Jewish Affinity Group did Hanukkah and the dreidel spinning and all that kind of stuff in that Spark block. Um, we are available to like pray with teams. So I've done that a few times when teams invite me. And then also we have Friday morning, believe it or not, we have over 18 students who get up and are ready at 7:15 to go to Manhattan Bagel and have a prayer gathering while, of course, eating their bagels. Um, and we have to get up at that time too to take them. So if any of you are near us and want to drive a van, I have an opening for you to drive a van. But that's great. And they run it. They do the scripture readings. They do a theme, and we just kind of listen. And they do that every Friday, and anybody can sign up. So you'll see different groups of kids come, and that's always neat too, to see that. Um, we used to actually do it for free, except it blew out our budget. So if you get little $10 um, uh, uh, bills, withdrawals on the student account, it's that. That's what that is. Sorry. But it was like 7 grand, believe it or not. Yeah, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, you know, so that's always a fun thing. Um, we do some formation. Of course, we have our academic courses. I teach two. I teach bioethics and applied ethics. So every chapels do teach as well. And we also have a Bible study called the Early Word, which started last year by the students. It's at 7:30 in the morning. Um, Another early morning, and it's run by the students. They did start it this year. The numbers have kind of waned, so we're kind of reevaluating how we're going to do it. But that was another offering by the students. And then social justice, we really do want to tie into some community organizations and also some churches who do work in the community around homelessness, around violence. We're very close to Wilmington, so we have a city that is under-resourced, and so we have churches that do work, and we want to partner with them. I'm taking a group of students Thursday to go deliver a meal in Wilmington with a women's shelter. And the kids, they're fantastic. They go, we don't just deliver the meal, we sit down and eat with the clients, and they tell us their stories and they get to know us, we get to know them. So really good work happening. Um, so I just want to, that's kind of just the basics. 2/3 of our student body is involved in some chapel program, which is exciting that almost 200 kids are part of, out of our 320. And I really am proud of them and proud of the work that they do. And it makes our chapel program really, I think, really strong and never complacent, because they're always generating ideas and pushing us to do things that we may not be comfortable doing, but the kids really think it's an important thing to do. So keeps me on my toes, for sure. Um, so that's me. Can I entertain any questions, or do you have any questions about anything that I can answer?